What is going on, everybody? This is MacKrille. If this is your first video, welcome to my channel. I'm a 19-year-old realtor and car detailer slash business owner, and I'm documenting my journey to success with this YouTube channel. So if you're into those two things, go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below. While you're at it, hit the thumbs up as well, just because I'm a nice guy, and let's get into it. Because today I'm talking about the road trip I did across the country at 18 years old after closing my first 3 sales as an 18-year-old realtor. Without further ado, I want to introduce you to my Toyota pickup, which has been my mode of transportation for the past 3 years.
It almost looks like a Ferrari, but it's not.
So to give you guys a background on this trip and why I took it, it was between June and August, I believe. I packed up my truck. I had nothing with me besides a couple weeks worth of clothes, threw that in a duffel bag in the back, and I just took off. I started in Colorado, went all the way down to Miami, clear back down to San Diego. So I literally drove the whole country, at least the southern portion of it, and it was awesome. I loved every minute of it. The point of this trip was because I wanted to find a place to live that was both good for business and a place that I liked. And while I didn't necessarily accomplish that because I ended up moving back to where I was originally from in California, it gave me the perspectives that I needed to come back where I was originally from, because California is a really stressful place to live. But without that trip, without living in Texas, I don't think I would have been able to come back here. So the trip was actually an idea of my mentors. And my mentor said, look, you've sold a couple listings. What you need to do now is pack up your stuff and drive the country, figure out where you want to live. And that's exactly what I did. I was really hesitant at first, but after I committed to the decision and I said, all right, I'm hopping in my truck, we're leaving, it was the most freeing feeling in the world to know, like, it's just me, I have money to go explore for a couple weeks. Like, it was the best feeling ever. How are you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
Doing fantastic, enjoying the weather.
I know, right?
Okay, just to give you guys an idea of where I'm at, check this out. If it'll rotate, I don't know if you guys have had this experience before, but just the feeling of the ocean breeze hitting your face, the smell of sunscreen, and just the sandy, smell of the beach. I love it, man. Okay, I'm getting a little nervous here. There's so many people, but gotta stay committed. So essentially, the way this trip started was maintenance on my truck, because obviously, since my vehicle's 32 years old, it needs some work. And now, my dad told me how to change my oil, but that's about it. So what I did was a tune-up on my truck, made sure my tires were good, I balanced them all, got a alignment. 225,000 miles right before I took the trip. So I was a little nervous, and the fact that my clutch was really old, but I just said full send and I took the trip anyway. So the first place I went to on this 6,000 mile road trip was Arizona. I stopped at my aunt's house, and unfortunately, it's positive depending on the way you look at it, but my alternator actually went out on the side of the road in Arizona. So today I'm taking this Bronco and I don't see my truck here. You know why? Because it's way over there on the side of the road. Yeah, it's still there. What? Nobody stole it.
Nobody stole that?
So I'm pretty dirty. I was laying in the dirt. See this? But it is hot as hell out here. Dust is blowing in my face. Semi-truck's driving right next to me. And I put in a new alternator. So I may have found the culprit here. I don't think that's getting a very good current. It was really, really hot, but I ended up fixing it, and thankfully I was at my uncle's house where he had tools. I don't know why, but it's pushing myself out of my comfort zone and filming in public like this, it kind of freaks me out, but I'm just going for it. My heart is pounding, man. My first stop was Arizona at my aunt and uncle's house. My alternator went out, so he had tools. I actually fixed my truck on the side of the highway, so it all worked out. I fixed it, as you can see in the video, and then I kept driving. The next stop was actually Texas. So the reason why I was really considering moving to Texas in the beginning was because there was no income tax. It was very similar in the fact that in California, there's palm trees, head in and out. It made me feel at home. So I thought Texas was a really cool place to live until I lived there and I realized the weather sucks. But besides that, economically and as a state, politically as a whole, it's a great state. I definitely will be going back to Texas, but definitely in a smaller town and not in Austin where it's as liberal, but I will be going back to invest. So the pier is actually not a good idea to film, so let me get off this damn thing really quick and then I'll be back with you guys in a second here. In the meantime, enjoy some beautiful views of Oceanside. Okay, hold on one second, it's still really loud out here. The wind's kind of messing me up too. I guess the beach is not a good place to film, honestly.
In your videos.
Okay, as I was saying, I went to Texas, I really liked it. So right before you got into New Orleans, you'd go to Houston. And the thing about Houston is, it is just a big city, man. And I had no idea what parts were good, what parts were not good. So when you're going into a new city like that, and being as young as I was and experienced, I immediately just went to downtown, which was a huge mistake if you ever go to Houston. You've never been there. Plus, my bias on it is that this is the only experience I have in Houston. So if you're from Houston, I'm sorry to offend you, but I didn't like Houston. I went to downtown and I was upset because I felt a little scared for my well-being. I went to the wrong side of Houston. It's pretty sketchy. There's subdivisions just boarded up and apartments after apartments boarded up. It is not a cool place to hang out. I will tell you that. I'm out. I'm going to go to New Orleans right now and I don't want to see the rest of Houston. I'm good. I don't want to. So I just stopped in Louisiana and I got two things to say. One, it feels like I'm swimming in a pool as I'm walking around because it's so humid. And the thing is, I lost window trim. I don't know how or where, but some of my window trim is gone. Immediately after Houston was New Orleans. I knew I didn't want to live in New Orleans, but I did check it out, stayed with some family members, and I really got a sense of what real Americana was about and kind of the way people actually were in the United States. It's one thing to see how United States is on the news, and it's another thing to see it in person. But the fact that they had that Southern hospitality was so awesome. I wish we still had that in today's culture. And I look at my best bud, John, his family is 100% Mexican, but they came here, I think at one point they were illegal, but they got their citizenship, they started businesses, now they're all United States citizens. I have great respect for that. And their culture that they bring to the United States is awesome. They just love one another. There's no backstabbing, no talking shit. Like, they're just genuinely good people. And that's what I found with Southern hospitality, especially in the Southern United States, is that everybody was so much more nicer than on, let's say, like the West Coast. Yes, Southern hospitality, man.
Absolutely. I went to school in Tallahassee, Florida.
Yeah, brother. See what I tell you. But you don't see those things, you don't experience it until you actually go down there and see with your own eyes. So that's one thing that this trip really taught me, was actually going and seeing it firsthand showed me, like, hey, the news is full of shit. We have a great country, everybody's doing well. And of course, there's still a lot of bad things, which I'm not covering in this video, but overall, America is still the best place to live. We're still the greatest country in the world, and that's a fact. I don't care what anybody says. America is the best. America! So after I visited Louisiana and Bayou states, I immediately went to Georgia because I have family who live over in Savannah, which actually is the most haunted town in the United States. And so I never experienced that either. But thankfully, they lived outside Savannah, Georgia. I know there was a lot of slavery, and that's where a lot of farms were back in the day, and cotton farms. So I know that there's some bad juju over there, right? But I had a good experience over there as well. I really did appreciate Georgia for all of its long straight freeways and all the trees covering it. It was absolutely beautiful. And again, I also like Georgia a lot. You don't know what you don't know until you visit. So I really did appreciate the East Coast of America as well. It's just so quiet, so serene. And there's some parts where I was like, man, this is so beautiful. How come nobody knows about this? So after I went to Georgia, I went to Miami. I was really excited to go to Miami. And then when I got there, I was really let down. It's kind of like your first trip to Las Vegas. You know what to expect, but you know it's gonna be cool. And then you get there and you're just like, what the fuck is this? It's all dirty, really ghetto. People are just trying to scam you everywhere. Miami Beach was definitely a huge letdown for me. Okay, I made it to Miami Beach. Man, first impressions are nobody can drive. I've seen the sketchiest driving today, and I almost got wrecked like 10 times. And the second thing is you can't find a place to park. I went and stayed at a pretty nice hotel, and a pretty nice hotel to me was like one on the beach, just like a Marriott. And so I stayed there, it was like 250 bucks. So I paid for the night, and then I was like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to see the rest of Miami, I'm good. I really don't like this valet thing. He's probably smoking my clutch. So, Miami Beach. I did like Miami Beach a lot though, and the fact that the sand was warm, the water was warm, just the whole environment was just beautiful. I love the feeling of Miami. I like how you felt in the air. It's just so nice. I love it. But the rest of the city was kind of ghetto. It was cool in Miami though. I did get to meet with the guy who started Secret Entourage Academy. Pejman Kadimi, his name.
Hey guys, Pejman Kadimi here. Come on, I'm the founder of Secret Entourage. If you didn't know, $190,000+, another $100,000 in modifications.
All right, here's PJ and his Cayenne Turbo S. Say what's up, PJ.
What's up, people?
I mostly asked him questions that were relevant to my situation, and he was so much help. It was really cool because when I was 16 is when I started watching him, and then I finally got to meet him in person. He was in Miami. It was just super cool. After I went to Miami, I went to Tennessee to go visit a friend I met over the internet, and I stayed at his house for 2 days. That was really fun. His name is Michael Newton, and he is a fantastic person. We share so many things out here in common, you know, from politics, business, mindset, sales. Like, there's so many things that we think alike on. It's just insane because I met this guy over the internet, stayed at his house, and he lives in Tennessee. I've never been to Tennessee, and he's like, bro, just stay at my house. I'm like, all right, cool. So I stayed at this guy's house, Michael, and right now he's actually building $1 million marketing company that's totally different within the college housing market. I don't know what you want to call that thing, but this dude is killing it. He's literally doing something completely out of the box to market real estate to college students. So I'm gonna link his information. I'm gonna put his Instagram right here somewhere. I don't know where it is on the video, but it'll be there. Go follow Michael. He's a great entrepreneur. If you want to see someone who's gonna be a millionaire, if not a billionaire, in the sometime near future, go follow Michael. So after I went to visit Michael, I pretty much threw in the towel and said, you know what, I'm done driving around. And I went straight back home to Colorado. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. That's it. I went through Kansas, I went through Missouri, the eastern side of Colorado, and man, that was probably the worst part of the drive because it was just flat, boring, and at one point it looked like the Windows 7 screensaver with those clouds and the hills. Like, it was really boring, but you know, I did appreciate it because it is our country. It was awesome. It was just part of the drive. I did drive back to California because I knew I was gonna get my Texas real estate license. So that's what I did. Yeah? All right, he wants to be on the vlog too. When you're filming yourself, everybody gives you the celebrity look, the status. They associate it with you because you are walking. What kind of person walks with the camera pointing at themselves? Famous people, celebrities, people with a huge following. So that's what's cool about filming yourself. I get treated like I'm a celebrity. Nah, it's all good, bro. Not today. Yeah, do you want to be in it?
Yeah.
If you
Real hustle. I'm trying to get some money. $2 each.
$2 each. If you're in Oceanside, California, come get some Gatorade from this guy. There's so many distractions at the beach. I don't know if I'm gonna film here ever again. So with all this being said, I highly recommend any one of you who's watching this video, no matter who you are watching this, hop in your car and go drive the country while you can. Especially if you don't have a family, especially if you don't have bills. You have no risks when you do this. Especially if you're in your 20s, you have no excuse. You have to go do this because you never know what you're gonna learn out of it. You never know what you're gonna experience. And this is something that's super important and near and dear to my heart because this trip changed my life. Remember, you guys have to go suffer, go struggle a little bit. And I'm still struggling. I'm sleeping on my best friend's floor. But that's what makes your story fun. That's what makes your story worthwhile. If something isn't hard, then what's it worth? But anyway, I wanted to share a more in-depth story on my actual road trip across the country because I only put it on my Instagram highlights and that's where it sat, and it deserved a YouTube video on it. I think going back, I could be more detailed on this trip. So if you have any questions whatsoever about this trip, or if you're thinking about going on one, whatever question you have, drop it in the comments below and I will answer it and I will get back to you. But this trip was awesome. I highly recommend you guys go on it yourselves. If you made it this far, I appreciate you because you could have been doing anything in the whole entire world. You could have been doing anything, but you chose to spend a couple minutes with me and I appreciate that. So that is the end of this one, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up. I will see you guys on the next one.